Today we're comparing the DJI AIR 2S D-Log footage versus the normal color scene. And as you can see here on the bottom, we've got the D-Log. On the top, we've got the normal. Right away, you can notice the difference in the highlights, the difference here in the shadows as well. The trees losing a lot of information with the normal color. With the D-Log, you have more of that information in the trees. You can see more fine detail with the D-Log footage compared to the normal footage. Now, if you compare the two of these back to back, I'm gonna put a small color grade on the D-Log footage here, and then we're gonna switch over to the normal, and you can see, again, those shadows kind of losing that information a little bit on the normal, but overall, it's not a bad image. But when you go back to the D-Log, you get that information right away. You can see that information there in the shadows, the blacks not being as crushed. But then when I add a color grade there, a slight color grade, it's gonna be a little bit different of a look. Now with the normal, it's gonna be a little bit more saturated. It's gonna be a little bit more crushed there in the blacks. So it really comes down to personal preference here. Are you going to be color grading? What look are you going for? And as you can see here, pushing in here on this house, you can see the difference in the details in the shadows, where with the normal color, you lose a lot of that information in the blacks because it's so crushed. And I think that's just because of the stock color that DJI puts into these cameras. I really do prefer the D-Log footage personally. Even without a color grade, I prefer the D-Log footage comparing it to the normal color on the Air 2S. Again, we're going down the beach here. You can see the difference. I'm gonna add a small color grade to it there, a little bit more vibrancy there, but I really do love that D-Log footage once you put a slight color grade on it. For me, I normally like to shoot more cinematic looking, less saturated footage, and I think the D-Log really allows me to do that, and then I still keep those shadows looking really good, keep that overall image nice and crisp and clean. Compared to the normal color, which ends up being very crushed in those blacks, losing a lot of that information there in the footage. Again, we're pushing into 300% here on the D-Log footage, and then comparing that with 300% zoom on the normal color science as well. And again, you can see those blacks just being crushed, and the overall image, I feel like the D-Log just has a little bit more information, and it just makes it a more pleasant image for me. Now, adding some custom LUTs just really quickly, you can see the differences here with the D-Log, being able to add those LUTs and go for different looks depending on the footage that you're going for. At the end of the day, it really comes down to what is your personal preference, what works best for you with your editing style, what kind of vibe are you looking for when you are, editing your video or making your video. That's really what it comes down to. What's the feel and the overall look? We did shoot this with a ND32. It was super bright out. For now on, for me, I'm gonna be shooting with the Air 2S in D-Log for now on. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the D-Log footage with a slight color grade, or do you prefer the normal color science?